On the line, we have the Secretary General, or General Secretary rather, of the National Union of Mineworkers, Frans Baleni, who's currently in Geneva. Hello, Frans. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon, Bronwyn, and thanks for having me.
Okay, it's Chris as well, but anyway, Frans, thanks for coming on. I know you're a young activist in the '87 strike while Mandela was still in prison. When did you actually meet him for the first time?
Well, I met Madiba for the first time after he is released. You would recall that our General Secretary at the time, Cyril Ramaphosa, was the lead person in the Release Mandela campaign in the coordinating committee. So we had that privilege of meeting him once he was released quite early. And he did come to us officially and pay a tribute to Mineworkers. Remember that we honored him being the life honorary president and also being a former mine worker himself.
Frans, I'm sure you've got one unique story that you'd like to share with us. Unique being the operative word here.
I missed that part.
I'm sure you've got one unique story that you would like to share with us about Mr. Nelson Mandela.
You know, he had this magic. In fact, I'll rather relate a story of an old woman who was our neighbor. He was he was in the 70s when Mandela was released. And we took him to a rally, in one of the rallies in FNB. And she came back and said, you know, having just had that man, I never had an opportunity to touch him, but all my pains has disappeared. So it became an issue that every time he had pains, he would say, can you please take me close to a room where Mandela was? So that's the magic which Madiba had. The other one, it was when he was lobbying us, recruiting basically Alema Motlanthe to be the Secretary General of the ANC. He came to us and he related a story about a young man, how this young man traveled villages and villages looking for a potential wife, only to discover after 4 months traveling, when he went back to the village, that indeed a neighbor was the potential wife which he was looking for. By the way, he was sending a message that they have been looking for a Secretary General and they found one right next door in NUM.